We're just a couple hours from the release of Leagues 3, and they've revealed all of the new information on the wiki. So in today's video, we're going to go ahead and run through all of the new fragments, what they do, along with the new set effects they bring. First up is the Arcane Conduit. We actually heard about this fragment, but we didn't know what it was, and it turns out the magic runes and magic weapon charges are saved at a clip of 30% with level 1, 60 with level 2, and 90 with level 3. Then we have the Thrall damage. Summoned creatures deal 33% more damage. This damage is rounded up and it goes up to 66 and 100 with level 2 and 3. Then we have the Unholy Wizard, which makes magic attacks have 40% better accuracy if you have 0 prayer left. This jumps to 70% with level 2 and 125% with level 3. Actually a pretty solid fragment that there's a lot of speculation around us getting whenever we pick our combat skills. Then there's the Zamorakian Sight. When wielding 4 Zamorak items, you have 20% increased accuracy. This jumps to 40% and 75% with level 2 and 3 of that fragment. Then we have the Enchanted Jeweler, and this is actually one we already had revealed. All enchantment spells enchant more pieces of jewelry per cast with full experience given. In our next new one, we have Smithing Double. Smithing at an anvil has a 5% chance to give 2 of the end product with full experience. This jumps to 15% with level 2 and 30 with level 3. And here we are. Next up is the Alchemaniac. And this is some of the things that I knew were going to be big for making more money. I knew there were definitely going to be some more fragments like Golden Brick Road. This one doesn't sound nearly as overpowered, but will definitely be some more GP. But the Alchemaniac fragment has high alchemy giving 15% more gold, 30% with level 2, and 50% with level 3. Then we have the Rumple Bowstring. Spinflax yields 10 bowstrings instead of 5. So it basically just doubles the Spinflax spell on the Lunar Spellbook, but once you level it up to 2, it becomes 15 bowstrings, and level 3, you can turn your entire inventory into bowstrings on one cast. Now we have Dragon on a bit, and when crafting Dragon Hide armor, there's a 10% chance the material will be saved and sent back to your bank. This jumps up to 20 and 40% with level 2 and 3, and could definitely just be a ton of extra banked crafting XP. Then we have the Mkando's Apprentice. Smithing gem jewelry has a 20% chance to give twice the end product with full experience. So this is one that kind of goes well with the Enchanted Jeweler, where you can basically just enchant more jewelry with the raw materials you have. Then next up we have the Plank Stretcher. This is a 10% chance to save all types of planks when you're doing construction. This jumps up to 50% with level 3. Then the Golden Brick Road, one we all already know about that I've talked plenty about. When a Mark of Grace is spawned, 4k GP will spawn alongside it, and it becomes 15k when you level it up all the way to level 3. Moving on, we have the Grave Robber, and this is the amount of Hollow Mark receives from the Hallowed Sepulchre is increased by 50%, and this increases by 300% with level 3. Interesting one here, we have Runescape. When crafting runes at ZMI, you no longer craft Mind, Body, or Elemental runes. Therefore, I'm assuming you still always craft at least 1 rune to 1 essence. Therefore, it's going to be much better XP and much better runes per hour doing ZMI with this fragment. Then we have the Barbarian Pest Wars. Barbarian Assault, Pest Control points, and Soul War Zeal received are boosted by 100% and 300% with level 3. This one definitely could come in handy. Hopefully it is one of like the miscellaneous fragments that you can get from doing more than just these minigames. Then we have the Rogue's Chompy Farm. Tilt farm points are boosted by 100%, and the chance to successfully crack the wall safe in Rogue's Den is boosted by 10%, 40% with level 3, and the Chompy Bird kill count is worth 2, 3, and 4 with level 3 respectively. That one is an absolutely loaded fragment just with super small niche uses in 3 different categories. Then Mother's Magic Fossils. This is one we also already knew about prior to release. The chance of obtaining fossils on Fossil Island, gold nuggets in the Motherlode Mine, and Mage Training Arena points are increased by 100%. And with all that said, we're still only about halfway through all of these fragments, but next up we have Clued In. And this is NPCs that drop clue scrolls will have a 1 in 30 chance of dropping them, and this jumps up to a 1 in 15 chance with level 3. And then to go along with Clue Scrolls, we have Message in a Bottle, and this is clue geodes, nest, and bottles are found 3 times more often, and this becomes 10 times more often with level 3. Dine and Dash is a 10% chance you will get extra cooked food. This becomes 50% with level 3. Then Slay and Pay. Completing Slayer task will award 10% more points, 50% more points if you have this at level 3. Then our next fragment, we have Superior Tracking, and this is superior Slayer monsters will have a 1 in 150 chance of appearing. And this one drops dramatically to 1 in 30 when you get this thing leveled up to level 3. If you happen to pick this one up, this one is going to be outrageous for not only getting Slayer XP, but also picking up things like the Imbued Heart. Then we have Slay All Day, one of the fragments that we already knew about pre-launch, and this is killing a Slayer monster on task will heal you for 1 hit point, and this jumps up to 3 hit points with level 3. And then to go along with the Magic Rune Saver, we have the Bottomless Quiver, and this is ranged ammunition and weapon charges have a 30% chance to be saved, and this jumps to 90 with level 3. And then the speculated range starting fragment, we have the Unholy Ranger, which is a 30% buffed accuracy when you have 0 prayer remaining, and this goes up to 100% with a maxed out fragment. But they do note that this doesn't include the Dwarf Multi-Cannon. That's actually pretty interesting. Now for the next fragment, we have the Armadillon Decree. Hopefully I didn't butcher that word entirely, it's pretty early in the morning. But when wielding 4 Armadillo items, bolt effects have a 25% increased chance to activate, and if you max out this fragment, it has a 100% increased chance to activate. Then next up we have the Divine Restoration, and this is 1 prayer point will restore every 15 seconds. This one's pretty cool. I really like this fragment actually. And this jumps up to 1 prayer point every 3.6 seconds if you max out the fragment. Then we have Living on a Prayer, and this is prayer drains 15% slower, but it becomes 60% with level 3. And then Praying Respects is one we actually already knew about. And this is Bones and Ashes are auto-buried and scattered with 50% experience. But once you max it out, it becomes 200% of the normal experience. Then we have the Molten Miner, and this is a 20% chance that mined ore will be smelted into a bar automatically if that is possible. So similar to the relic in Trailblazer, every time you'd mine an iron ore, it would immediately become an iron bar. Then we have Rock Solid, which is a 25% chance that things like iron ore, sandstone, and granite do not deplete. And this becomes 75% with a maxed out fragment, basically just a way to help you get much better XP rates while power mining. Then we have the Certified Farmer, and this is farming resources harvested are always noted and have a 25% chance to be doubled. I actually really like this fragment. This becomes a 100% chance to be doubled whenever you max it out. Then we have Seedy Business, and this is a 10% chance to save the seed after planting, and it becomes 50% with level 3. Definitely one that could have some nice niche uses like getting yourself some more prayer pots by saving a Renar seed, but other than that, it's not going to make that big of a difference. Then we have the Chef's Catch, which is a 20% chance that any fish caught is automatically cooked, and it becomes 50% with level 3. Going straight into the next fragment is Catch of the Day, and this is all types of fishing has a 1 in 500 chance to roll the rare drop table. Okay, this one is actually super interesting. I didn't expect a fragment like this. And this becomes a 1 in 200% chance with a maxed out level 3 fragment. Then we have Chinchonkers. I actually really love that fragment name. Chinchompas yield 50% more experience. Additionally, you gain 2 Chinchompas instead of 1 per successful trap. And I just noticed this is actually part of the Last Recall set effect. I already love this one. It's got a fantastic name, not a bad effect, and it's part of Last Recall. I'll take it. Then we have Slash and Burn, which is a 20% chance that chop logs are automatically burned. Then we have Home Wrecker. Bird's nests from wood cutting have an increased chance of being dropped and are automatically sent to your bank. Then we have Smooth Criminal. This one is the chance to successfully pickpocket is increased, and you no longer take damage from being stunned. This also stacks with the Gloves of Silence and the Arty Diary. Then we have Deeper Pockets, and this is a 20% chance to gain double loot when pickpocketing. Okay, this one from something like the Arty Knights is going to yield some massive GP an hour, because with a maxed out level 3, you get a 100% chance to double your loot. So you're basically getting double Arty Knight loot for the entirety of the time you're there, and it stacks with the rogue's outfit if you do max out the fragment. This one's going to be another way to make some really good money in this league. Then we have the Tactical Duelist. Melee weapon charges have a 20% chance to be saved, 80% with level 3. And then the Unholy Warrior. Melee attacks have 12% more accuracy with 0 prayer, and this becomes 30% with level 3. Then we have the Bandosian Might. When wielding 4 Bandos items, your max hit is increased by 1 per attack speed. And this becomes 4 damage per attack speed with level 3. Definitely an interesting one. Then we have the Saradominus Defense, which is when yielding 4 Sara items. If you've taken damage in the last 2.4 seconds, your max hit is increased by 2. And this is an increase of 10 with level 3. Definitely some interesting fragments in general, most of which provide really solid effects. But at the same time, getting 4 Sara items in general isn't going to be that easy to pull off, especially things like Bandos items. Sara, you can kind of get away because you have things like Monk Robes. But with Bandos, it not only comes down to getting 4 Bandos items, but also getting the fragment. Then we have Larger Recharger, and special attack points are restored by 10% every 25 seconds, and this increases to 10% every 10 seconds with level 3. And then next up we have the Special Discount, and this is special attacks that cost more than 50. This one's actually worded a little awkwardly, but basically it's a reduced cost of your special attack. It could also just be a little too early for me to be reading that. Then we have the Mixologist, and this is creating potions has a 25% chance to create their 4-dose variant, and a 20% chance of saving their secondary ingredient. Both of these become 100% chances with level 3. This one's going to be pretty awesome for saving potions in the long run. Then we have Jess Druid, and this is Herblore XP from cleaning herbs is increased by 10%, 40% with level 3. Nothing too game breaking, but could actually stack up to some decent Herblore XP if you have it maxed out. Then we have the Proflectional. Experience from fletching and stringing bows is increased by 30% and 100% with level 3. Definitely could make fletching even faster training than it already is. Then we have Pro Tips, which is literally just a single dot in the fragment icon. And this is when fletching gems into tips, you'll receive 30% more tips per gem, and this becomes 100% more with level 3. And then next up, for one that could potentially take the cake for best name, Rudy Tooty 2 times Runies. Each time a rune is crafted, there's a 20% chance to get double the amount of runes, and this becomes 60% chance of double with level 3. Then we have Hot on the Trail. Lighting fires gives a 2% chance of receiving clue scrolls. This becomes a 10% chance with level 3, and that might not sound too drastic, but when it comes to lighting a few hundred fires, you could end up with a nice stack of extra clue scrolls. And for our final fragment, we have the Venom Master. And this fragment allows you to apply poison and poison immunity. Your attacks have a chance to inflict 3 poison damage, and this jumps up to 7 with a maxed out fragment. And additionally, you are immune to being poisoned or venomed. That's actually huge. This one becomes very good for Zulrah, considering venomed is included in this fragment. But now with all of the fragments out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into our set effects. A majority of which do look like we have seen them before, but let's go ahead and read them regardless. First up, we have the Absolute Unit. And with 2 fragments, you take 30% less damage from monsters, and 50% of post-reduction damage is reflected to the attacker. And this jumps up to 50% less damage from monsters, and 100% of the post-reducted damage is reflected to the attacker if you do have 4 of the fragments equipped for that set effect. Then for our next set effect, we have the Alchemist, and this requires 4 fragments, and this is when cooking food, making jugs of wine, cleaning herbs, and making potions. All items in your inventory will be processed immediately and still give full XP. I do want to note I'm not going to read all of the fragments included in each set effect, but I do want to note I didn't touch on it up here either. Every single fragment comes with 2 different set effects. So if you don't want to take advantage of Chained Magic when you're using the Zamorakian Sight, you could take advantage of the Drakon's Touch. That's just one thing I wanted to note quickly before we move on. And then next up for our set effects, we have the Chain Magic, which you can use in 2 or 3 fragment variants. For the 2 fragment variant, after a successful magic attack, you have a 30% chance to do another magic attack roll. And this jumps up to 60% if you do put on a 3rd fragment with this set effect. Then going along with Trailblazer once again, this time we have the Craftsman. This one also requiring 4 fragments to be equipped, but when smelting ores, smithing bars, and cannonballs, crafting with leather, other crafting supplies, or fletching, all of it is processed at once and gives full XP. And now we have the double tap set effect, which can be done with 2 fragments or 3. With only 2 fragments equipped, after a successful range attack, you have a 30% chance to do another range attack roll. Very similar to the magic one, same thing, which jumps up to 60% chance with 3 fragments equipped. Moving on though, we have a new one being the Dracon's Touch, and this can be done with 2 fragments equipped or 4, but with 2, any successful attack has a 50% chance of restoring your HP by 5% of the damage dealt. Okay, so this one's actually going to be super helpful. And with 4 of these fragments equipped, the 50% chance of restoring your HP stays the same, but your healing goes up to 10% of the damage dealt. Moving on, we have the Endless Knowledge, and this was the only set effect we actually 100% knew about, and this is you gain an item that allows you to swap spellbooks continuously and constantly. It literally does not have a cooldown. You can do it all the time, as frequently as you want, but it does require you to have at least 4 fragments. And then we have the Fast Metabolism set effect, and this is hit point regeneration is quadrupled, and you would require 3 fragments to get this set effect. Next up on our set effects, we have the Greedygatherer, and this can be done in 3 or 4 fragments. With 3 fragments, you gain double resources from fishing, woodcutting, mining, and farming. And if you have 4 fragments with this set effect, you would gain triple resources from the exact same skills. And I do want to note that experience is granted per resource gathered, so technically it would be tripled. Then we have the Knife's Edge set effect, which can be done with 2 fragments or 4. With 2 fragments, for every hit point you have missing, you deal 0.3% additional damage in all combat styles. And this becomes 0.6% additional damage if you do have 4 of these fragments from this set effect. Which, judging by it, depending on your RNG, there are quite a few really good fragments that go along with this set effect that you could take advantage of this massive damage increase. And now for a fan favorite, we have Last Recall, which we did know was going to be in it, but it does require you to have 5 fragments in this category to get this set effect. And basically you gain an item that allows you to teleport back to the location that you most recently teleported from. Then we have the Personal Banker set effect. This can be done with 2 or 4 fragments, but with 2 fragments you have a 50% chance that your resources gathered from fishing, woodcutting, mining, and farming are sent directly to your bank. This does become a 100% chance if you do have 4 fragments with this set effect. But with 7 potential fragment spots unlocked, I do want to note that you can technically put together Greedygatherer and Personal Banker. If you max out the Personal Banker fragments with 4, you can add on 3 with the Greedygatherer, banking 100% of the time double resources from fishing, wood cutting, mining, and farming. Then we have the Trailblazer, and this is you gain an item which allows you to teleport to major areas. So basically just unlimited jewelry, and this would require 3 fragments. Then we have the Twin Strike set effect, which can require 2 or 3 fragments. With 2, after a successful melee attack, you have a 30% chance to do another melee attack roll, and this becomes 60% with a 3rd fragment equipped, very similar to how the magic and range ones are going to work. But for our final set effect, we have the Unchained Talent, and this is all non-combat skills receive a permanent +8 boost, requiring 3 fragments to get this set effect. But with that, this video is probably pretty lengthy. Hopefully this video allows you to kind of put it on in the background and listen to it while you're already playing Leagues 3. But with that, Leagues 3 is finally here after a ton of anticipation. So I hope you guys have an absolute blast playing, and I'll catch you in the next video.